I will continue from the previous class. Yes. So first of all, let us take a short recap whatever we have studied, rights and duties. Rights means I told you that whatever we are allowed to do, है ना, officially means which law allows us to do, right? And duties are some responsibilities which are given to us by the government, by the laws. Laws, I told you, laws are the rules and regulations which we all are supposed to follow, and these rules and regulations are official rules and regulations, right? Okay, so students, India, since India is a diverse country, it took a lot of time to make our constitution. Constitution, I told you, constitution is a book or is a document which contains a thousands of rules, right? So constitution is a set of rules. Clear? Okay. Afterwards, we learned about that constitution is the world's longest written constitution, Indian constitution I am talking about, right? And it took 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to write our constitution. Yes? On 26th November 1949, our constitution was adopted by the assembly, and on 26th January 1950, it came into the effect. It was applied actually, right? And there was a drafting committee in which people from different places of India, different corners of India were there, so that each and every part of India can be presented in making of the constitution, right? That is why it is known as drafting committee. Drafting means to make something, to make a base of something, है ना? Like suppose you are supposed to make to draft a letter. In that, it means that you are making a rough sketch of that. Okay, so draft means making rough sketch of something, right? And then we will finalize that. Clear? So, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Okay, students, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the most important person in making the constitution. He was the chairman of this drafting committee, yes, who made the constitution. That committee's chairman was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar. You know, in your higher classes, you will read about him that, he belonged to a lower caste and he suffered a lot of inequalities. He was never treated as equal. Even his family was not allowed to go to the temples. You know, that is why, right to equality came into the scene. है ना? Right to equality is there. We will read about rights. So that time I will explain you. Yes? Students are sending me requests for annotating. Students, don't send that. Afterwards, we read about why is constitution important to us. Why is constitution important to us? Constitution is important because it plays a very important role. And what is the importance? That constitution gives, it is a source of all the powers and all the laws in our country. Whatever the laws has been made in our country and whatever the, powers are there in the country, and powers are, constitution gives powers to different governments, to the central government, to the state government. So that is why constitution is said as source of laws and source of powers. Because from where do we get our laws? From constitution, from where the central government or the state government will get some powers from the constitution itself, right? It tells the government what it can do and what it cannot do. Yes? That what government can do and what government cannot do. Ma'am, call Shauri Bajia's parents. Again and again they are sending annotating request. Sir, you call. Shauri Bajia's. The constitution tells us how the government is formed. Constitution will tell us that how the government will be formed. That how the government will be formed. In India, we have a democratic system. Democratic system we have now, democracy form of government. In democracy form of government, what happens? The government is elected by the people. All people have the right to vote. सब लोगों के पास right to vote होता है और elections के through ही government बनती है. Right? The citizens of India have certain rights. All the Indian citizens have certain rights. Certain means some, है ना? Specific. And some duties as well people are having. Yes, these rights and duties are also provided by constitution. Yes. Now the fundamental rights. I told you fundamental means basic, base of something, right? So fundamental rights are the privileges. Privileges means I told you benefits, है ना? So these are the benefits which are given to us by our government, right? So now I will revise you rights. Right to equality. Right to equality means सबको equally means बराबर treat किया जाएगा. There will be no discrimination. People will not be differentiated. Discriminate means भेदभाव करना, फर्क करना लोगों में, जो कि गलत है ना? कुछ लोग रिलीजन के बेसिस पे भेदभाव करते कि आप तो इस धर्म के हो ही नहीं, है ना, तो आपको हम मंदिर में नहीं आने देंगे या फिर आपको हम हमारे घर में नहीं आने देंगे. ठीक है, दिस इज वेरी बैड थिंग. तो हमें सबको इक्वली ट्रीट करना चाहिए, है ना. Citizens cannot be discriminated on the grounds of religion, race, caste, sex or place of birth. Here sex means I told you gender, है ना. मेल और फीमेल के बेसिस पे भी लोगों को डिफरेंशिएट नहीं करना चाहिए. फिर था राइट टू फ्रीडम. राइट टू फ्रीडम मीन्स that we all are free to speak whatever we want to speak. We can express whatever we want to express. Yes, we can travel in any part of our country. We can live in any part of our country, and we can practice any of the profession. If you want to do any kind of job, if you want to do any kind of business, so that we can do, right? Next is right against exploitation. Exploitation means I told that to exploit someone. Yes, किसी का गलत फायदा उठाना, to take misadvantages of someone, right? Pratisha beta, don't send request. We cannot treat others in an unfair manner and take advantage of them. किसी का फायदा नहीं उठाना चाहिए, सबसे अच्छे से ट्रीट करना चाहिए. Clear? So we cannot be forced to work for somebody. हमें कोई भी अपना हमसे कोई भी खुद अपना काम फोर्सफुली नहीं करवा सकता. हम अगर अपनी इच्छा से करें, that is all right, okay, but forcefully no one can force us to practice, right? Next was right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion. So I told you exploitation. Exploitation means taking advantage of someone, right? So we should not exploit anyone, and we should not take any kind of advantage of the people. We cannot force anyone to do any work. Yes, so we cannot be forced to work for somebody. I told you any of your classmates cannot force you to do their homework. Yes, and children below the age of 14 years cannot be employed. Children below the age of 14 years को employ नहीं किया जा सकता है किसी भी काम के लिए, किसी भी फैक्ट्री में, किसी भी कंपनी में, किसी भी घर में भी बहुत सारे काम होते हैं ना. Like some people are employing others for doing हाउस होल्ड वर्क्स लाइक जैसे कि झाड़ू पोछा है ना, क्लीनिंग ऑफ द हाउस, क्लीनिंग ऑफ द यूटेंसिल्स एंड क्लीनिंग ऑफ द your particular rooms or whatever, right? Some are also keeping some cooks for cooking the food. So for these kind of work, children below the age of 14 years should not be employed. Next was right to freedom of religion. In this I told you that everyone is allowed to follow the type of religion they want to follow. हमें जो भी रिलीजन फॉलो करना है उसको हम फॉलो कर सकते हैं, उसको हम स्प्रेड कर सकते हैं उसके आइडियाज़ को, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट है कल्चरल एंड एजुकेशनल राइट्स. कल्चरल एंड एजुकेशनल राइट्स हमें ये अलाउ करते हैं कि हम हमारे लैंग्वेज, कल्चर, ये सब जो है इंडिया में अलग अलग तरीके के, तो हम अपने जो भी लैंग्वेजेस, कल्चर्स हैं, इसको हम प्रोटेक्ट करके रख सकते हैं, फ्यूचर में बना के रख सकते हैं. प्रिजर्व मतलब उनको खराब होने से बचाना, किसी चीज को खराब होने से बचाना, ठीक है. तो ये सब होता है. नेक्स्ट वन लास्ट राइट इज राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडीज. राइट टू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल रेमेडी का मतलब होता है कि अगर इफ वी फील दैट एनी ऑफ आवर फंडामेंटल राइट हैज बीन वायलेटेड, अगर हमारा कोई भी फंडामेंटल राइट वायलेट हुआ है, किसी ने उसको ब्रेक किया है, सो वी कैन गो टू द कोर्ट्स. हम कोर्ट्स में जा सकते हैं, ओके, and courts will take action against that person, right? Next we read was Right to Education Act, RTE. According to this act, government is supposed to provide, state governments है ना, जितने भी state governments है वो सब बच्चों को 6 to 14 years के बच्चों को free और compulsory education provide करेगी. Yes. Next, in your previous class we read about the fundamental duties. Fundamental duties were we must respect our constitution and we should obey the laws of our country. We should obey all the laws of the country. Whatever laws are there now, we should all follow them, right? We must respect our national flag and national anthem. We must respect the diversity of our country. We must help the government in times of national crisis. Crisis means I told you very difficult time. जब country के लिए, पूरे देश के लिए बहुत difficult times आ जाते हैं, like this pandemic. Like this pandemic na, COVID situation, this is crisis for, this is a worldwide crisis. Everyone is in difficult situations due to this COVID, right? Throughout the world people are suffering from this. Our normal lives has been disturbed through these 2 years, है ना. हमारी सारी normal life disturb हो चुकी है. You are also taking online classes, yes. Instead you could have come to school and enjoy with your friends, and now you are not even able to meet them, right? Okay. Next one, see, we must help the government in times of national crisis. We must respect diversity of our country. India is a very diverse country. Number of times I have told you, diverse means having a lot of differences. Difference in culture, difference in languages, difference in way of clothing, difference in celebrating the festivals and all. Yes, we must protect and preserve our environment. Our surroundings are there na, we should not pollute them, yes, and we should take care of them. We must not damage public property. Public property means which belongs to government. उसको हमें डैमेज नहीं करना चाहिए, खराब नहीं करना चाहिए. Yes. We must treat all citizens as equal. We should not differentiate in any of the citizen and should follow non-violence. Non-violence means अहिंसा. गांधी जी promoted non-violence always, है ना. तो non-violence होती है कि किसी को कोई भी तरह का नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाना, ठीक है, इसी को अहिंसा बोलते हैं. Violence means to physically attack someone, to physically hurt someone, ठीक है. तो नॉन वायलेंस मीन्स उसका ऑपोजिट, किसी को हर्ट नहीं करना चाहिए, किसी को फिजिकली तो बिल्कुल भी हर्ट नहीं करना चाहिए, ठीक है. नाउ द लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ योर चैप्टर, डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हैज लेड डाउन सम गाइडलाइंस. टेक आउट पेज नंबर 98 ऑफ योर बुक्स बेटा. Page number 98 of your books. Yes, the Constitution has laid down some guidelines for the government to govern in a better way and ensure the welfare of the citizens. Directive policies क्या है? कुछ ऐसी principles हैं जो स्टेट को, स्टेट मीन्स गवर्नमेंट है ना, जो गवर्नमेंट को हमेशा फॉलो करनी पड़ती है, ठीक है। क्यों फॉलो करनी होती है गवर्नमेंट को ये? ताकि वो सिटीजन्स के वेलफेयर के लिए वर्क कर सके। वेलफेयर मीन्स उनकी भलाई के लिए, लोगों की भलाई के लिए गवर्नमेंट वर्क कर सके और भी अच्छे से सिटीजन्स के लिए डिसीजंस ले सके। These guidelines are called the directive principles of state policy, ठीक है। इन्हीं गाइडलाइंस को क्या बोलते हैं? डायरेक्टिव प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी। The government must try to follow these guidelines while making laws and policies and putting a law into practice. So government must try to follow, try to follow, try to follow. Again and again I am repeating this. Why? Because government must try to follow. It means it is not compulsory for the government. Okay, like it was compulsory for the government that fundamental rights should not be violated. If government has violated our fundamental rights, then we can go to the courts. But if any of these guidelines and directive principles, if these are not followed by the government, then we cannot go to the court. Yes, that is why again and again I have repeated, must try to follow, है ना? Video was not stuck, अटका नहीं था video. I only repeated it 3-4 times. The government must try to follow these guidelines while making laws and policies and putting a law into practice, है ना? If government is making any kind of law, government is making any kind of policy for the people, है ना, या फिर गवर्नमेंट लॉ को फॉलो करवा रही है, प्रैक्टिस करवा रही है, तो इन गाइडलाइंस को गवर्नमेंट को फॉलो करना चाहिए, ट्राई करना चाहिए कि ये सारे जो भी गाइडलाइंस है ये फॉलो होए. However, it may not be possible for the government to ensure all of these completely. But it may not be possible now. Sometimes government cannot follow these completely. But partially they can follow, so they should follow. Citizens cannot go to a court if the directive principles are not followed by the government. Already I told you that if the directive policies are not followed by the government, then we cannot move to the courts, right? Some of the directive principles are given below. Few principles are given below, that are promotion of justice on the basis of equal opportunity, है ना? Government को justice देना चाहिए equal opportunity के basis में, means whosoever persons are there, सबको कैसी opportunities मिलनी चाहिए? Equal. Opportunity means chance, अवसर, right? So everyone should get equal opportunity to get justice. Yes? गवर्नमेंट शुड बी इम्पार्शियल, है ना? गवर्नमेंट को लोगों के लिए इम्पार्शियल, इम्पार्शियल मतलब कि गवर्नमेंट डिफरेंशिएट ना करे, सबके लिए इक्वली ट्रीट करे. फ्री एंड कंपल्सरी एजुकेशन फॉर ऑल चिल्ड्रन अप टू द एज ऑफ 14. अप टू द एज ऑफ 14 free and compulsory education should be given, right? Promotion of educational and economic interest of the scheduled caste, the scheduled tribes and other weaker sections. So educational and economic means which is related to, see here it is given, relating to the business, industry and trade. Downside of your books you can see economic means relating to business, industry and trade, है ना? The things which are related to business, जिससे हमें फायदा हो पैसों के टर्म्स में, ठीक है? किसी भी इंडस्ट्री, बिजनेस या फिर ट्रेड से रिलेटेड हो, ठीक है, उसी को इकोनॉमिक बोलते हैं. तो ऐसे इस तरह के एजुकेशन और इकोनॉमिक इंटरेस्ट को प्रमोट करना चाहिए जो किससे रिलेटेड हो? शेड्यूल्ड कास्ट, शेड्यूल्ड ट्राइब्स और अदर वीकर सेक्शंस ऑफ अवर सोसाइटी. कुछ सेक्शंस, कुछ कास्ट ऐसी होती हैं जो हमारी सोसाइटी में काफ़ी वीक होती है ना? उनको लोअर कास्ट माना जाता है. तो गवर्नमेंट को ऐसे लोगों को हेल्प करना चाहिए सो दैट दे कैन ऑल्सो बिकम ए बेटर सिटीजन्स, so their lives can also be improved, right? So that's all for today. Tomorrow we will do book exercise, and now I will take your doubt session. Complete chapter I hope you have read, so whatever doubts you have, now you can ask me.